Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wake Up Church. We've been asleep for too long. I'm your host, Dr. Rosalind Best, and it is my pleasure for you to join me today. Oh, I've got some good stuff for you. This is being sponsored by the Best Legacy Foundation, where we provide scholarship, mentorships, and opportunities for young people to leave a legacy for the next generation. Today's topic is called Watch for the Little Foxes. The scripture is going to be Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 1. And it says, "Take up the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes." Take up. Let's break this down. Take, it means to grab hold, to seize, to take in your possession. Foxes in the Hebrew means like a jackal. The biblical meaning is to illustrate desolation, loneliness, and abandonment, with reference to its habits of living in the ruins of former cities and other abandoned places by humans. A burrower, an animal that lives in an underground hole that it has made for itself. And spoil in the Hebrew means to destroy, to pervert, to corrupt, to ruin. Take up, grab hold of the abandon and loneliness that you are encompassing that's going to destroy or ruin you. This holiday season, we must be mindful of all of the things that are going on around us, but especially those little things that we don't think much of. I'm gonna hang out with my cousins at Thanksgiving. I'll do a little drinking, but you might say, I'm gonna hit that weed, or I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't be doing. Gonna go out to the club with my friends and or family, flirt with a few strippers. It's just gonna be fun. So if we don't take up, grab a hold of the things that we are thinking and entertaining, Satan cannot get a foothold if we don't give him an entry. He already knows the things we've been entertaining. He's already aware of the vices that hinder us and linger in the back of our imaginations. See, we are three parts. We are human, carnal. We are emotional, soulish. And we are spiritual, divine. And all three parts of us, we have to realize the greatest battle you have is not with the devil. It's your flesh. Your carnal is fighting against your spiritual man. Your spiritual man says, let me spend time with the family. The carnal man says, let me entertain some other woman. Let me flirt. Or let me engage in watching inappropriate videos and things that arouse you, male or female. If you are entertaining it, it's because you had an entry. Satan cannot be blamed for everything that goes on in our bodies. He's not a creator. He's an imitator, but he's not the creator. And God made us in a body, in flesh, so that we can learn to control our flesh by our spirit. The problem is, many of us have lost that battle. We've allowed the flesh to run amok and our thoughts to do whatever we want to do. It's my party. I'll cry if I want to, dance if I want to. That old song, it's my party. Well, the problem is, if we are kingdom people serving a king, His will be done, not my will be done. Jesus struggled with his flesh. He was like, Lord, if this cup of suffering can pass from me, I'm not feeling getting on that cross and dying. That was his flesh. But he said in his spirit, Christ said, not my will, but thy will be done. It is a choice that we have to grab a hold of and don't allow our emotions and our flesh to supersede our spirit. Be careful with your mouth, what you say. Using profanity, yelling, disrespecting other people, arguments, confusion. It can lead to contention and other issues that really shouldn't surround a holiday. Be careful with your ears, what you hear. Sexually explicit language and lyrics, provocative music can stimulate your senses to crave sex outside of marriage, whether you be an adulterer or a fornicator. It's real. So we have to be careful with our ears, what we hear. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. I know you don't see nothing wrong, but the problem is it can lead to something wrong. Little foxes, little foxes. Look at that girl walking over there across the street looking so funny. And look at that good looking man over there in Walmart. Jesus, that is a tall glass of water and I'm thirsty. That lust is in us. And if we don't bring it under subjection and grab a hold of it and pull that fox down, it can lead to all types of activity that does not promote Christianity. You got to walk your own walk of salvation. Know your vices and what stimulates you. Be careful with your eyes, what you see. Watching porn, sexually explicit and graphic, is dangerous if you are single. I'm talking to people that want to love the Lord and respect the principles and perimeters God put in place so that we can have healthy relationships, not hoish, not hoish relationships, healthy relationships. You say, I'm not a hoe, but if you have whorish tendencies, flirting with married men. I was getting ready to buy some barbecue at my typical barbecue spot, and this really handsome guy that always does the barbecue, I never knew he was married. So I would flirt and we would flirt back and forth, and one day he gave me his card. And when I read the card, it had his wife's name and his name, owners of this barbecue spot. And I was like, oh no. So 2 days ago, I drove by there and I said, hey, do you have any chicken? And he was like, no, but I got a rib for you. I said, you've already given that rib away, right? He couldn't do anything but giggle and put his head down. You see, Atlanta is full of people, male and female, that don't have a problem with violating their marriage covenant that God honors, that contract between you and your spouse. As a single woman, I have to respect that and not entertain that. So be careful with your eyes, what you see. He was good looking eye candy, but that would have been poison to my soul. Message: be careful where you go. Now, you say, I'm just going around Ray house, my cousin's house, my old dope partner's house. You be careful where you go, because look at Christ. He's got disciples. These men do have emotions. They have feelings. They have desires. because they're not abnormal. They were not aliens from another planet. They're human just like us. Jesus said, use some wisdom when you go out. Travel in twos. And he didn't send two that was subject to be a downfall to each other. Man, you hit that, I won't say nothing about it. Man, I won't tell your wife. I looked at Lisa Ray's episode, and it was heartbreaking that she introduced her husband to a friend that led to the destruction and disaster of their marriage. Be careful who you entertain and expose. You know, he couldn't have violated her if it wasn't something already in him. It's just unfortunate that her friend enabled him to be an adulterer and disrespect her, and it caused the dissolution of their marriage. Beautiful woman exposed her husband to a friend that became a frenemy. Be careful. When you look at, you say, well, Jesus, why did you send two disciples out? Send them out by twos. Jesus knew that the temptation, you at a widow's house, you're supposed to be giving her some widow bread, things that a widow would need, not what a widow is craving. That means her husband is gone. Her thing that hangs is no longer there. And you walking up there in your robe, I'm a disciple of Jesus. I have a package for you. Hell to the no, that's not Jesus. He sent them out in twos, knowing that that temptation would not be available when it's two of you instead of one. Message. Wisdom says, take another man with you if you think, you subject to go out to the club. And, there's a women's code. We went out to the club. If we come together, we leave together, because that's making sure that we are responsible to each other as a sisterhood. And as a married man, you need to go with a man that really loves his wife, not with his single friends, because they are pursuing a relationship or situationship. It might not be long term. Why entangle yourself in that web that's going to allow you to reminisce on the love you had? You're reminiscing when you were single. You're reminiscing when you could mingle. And then you begin to look at your wife and family like, man, they're getting in the way. I used to be a player from the Himalayas. You better put that player card down and play to win for your family, your future, and the next generation. Every sin that we entertain first starts with a thought, whether it's an impulsive or a long-term thought. Every sin starts with a thought. You've got to take into arrest every thought that runs around. So cute. Oh, this doesn't seem like it's harmful. That can't harm me. Come on. It can't be that harmful. Let me tell you about what they give rats for rat poison. 99% is not poison. 1% is enough to kill the rat. So that little percentage of poison negates the edibility of the 99% that is non-poison. Would you drink 8 ounces of water if a small 1 milliliter of shit was dropped in it? Boo-boo, dung, whatever makes you comfortable. Would you drink it? It's only 1 drop in it. So when we have things that linger, things that energize the carnal man in us, that is fighting against the spirit man in us. Paul says, I want to do what's right, but there's a war going on inside of me. There's a war going on in my members. I'm fighting my flesh against my spirit. My spirit says, don't you eat all of those little Debbie pies. The flesh says, you better enjoy this moment. You better enjoy it right now. Food has become more influential in the lives of many of us in this COVID epidemic. We're quarantined. So we do what I call nervous eating, just entertaining more food than we should. I got on the scale this morning. I had lost 3 pounds. I was so happy because I know I had lost a substantial amount of weight. I had lost 23 pounds and had put 23 back on. Well, now it's just 20 less, little by little bit by little bit. Watch for those little things that creep into your satisfying of your flesh. Nobody becomes 600 pounds overnight. Little bit by little bit by little bit. And the same thing when it goes for success. I'm going to end with this story. FCA, Fellowship Christian Academy. We had a very small school. Didn't have a lot of students that were there, mainly Christians and people that were a part of the church. And Coach Ronnie Blue did one of the most phenomenal jobs of grooming these men for success, little bit by little bit. Year 1, we got beat so bad it was an embarrassment. But by year 6, every year he was looking at ways to help build their stamina, to expose them to what they could do, their durability. And let me tell you, God can take every effort that you have put to do right and reward you greatly. Year 6, we were beating public schools. I believe it was Port St. Joe High School, Rutherford. We beat the public schools. And we were in for the regional Christian, who was going to win the region for the Christian conference. We had a white racist school that we were competing against. They had several hundred students attending, where we had 50 or less. But because we had Coach Blue in place, he never gave up on his guys. He knew the potential that they could accomplish something great. Their coaches had cheated. Everyone was cheating and taking advantage of us. The refs were cheating. We did not have the home court advantage. They had us up by 2 points, and there was less than 5 seconds on the clock. I'll never forget this as long as I live. They were so arrogant and started early celebration. They did not send all 5 of their players out there on the court. They started celebrating a little bit too soon. And when Coach Blue strategized, and he told, this was half court, he told our 3-point shooter, which is who they was expecting to shoot. We had another 3-point shooter at half court, and this was our goal. He told this young man, roll the ball in. He rolled the ball in, and it got to half court. The clock starts. 4, 3, 2, whoosh. We took the regional victory. If I don't know anything else, I said, God, that was amazing. He said, I want you to know I can change the trajectory of your life in less than a second. Be encouraged. Watch for the foxes. They're cute. The foxes are cute. They're adorable, but they're clever, they're sneaky, and they're evil. Don't entertain it. Don't entertain it. Celebrate your victories in Thanksgiving this year in ways that maybe you have taken things for granted. Kiss on your wife, love on your kids, love on your husband. Ladies, come on. Don't let those little foxes creep into your bedroom, into your personal life. You do what you have to do so that you be the fox. Hey, bye.